Coming up, Tzu Chi volunteers distribute financial aid to Typhoon Haiyan survivors in Tunga, Philippines. In response to Tzu Chi's rebuilding efforts, Tacloban residents showed their gratitude to the volunteers. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Mary Lee. Thank you for joining us. Tzu Chi volunteers once again returned to Tunga, Philippines. This time, volunteers brought donations for each family affected by Typhoon Haiyan. In the end, 1,752 families received a total of some 21 million pesos, or nearly $480,000 from Tzu Chi. Receiving the love from across the globe, each recipient's heart is warmed and filled with gratitude.
Philippines, USA.
Tunga Mayor is meeting Tzu Chi volunteers from various countries who have come to the Philippines once again, this time bringing monetary donations for Typhoon Haiyan survivors in her town. Depending on the number of family members, each household can receive 8,000 to 15,000 pesos. Recipients already know what to do with their money.
I am going to repair my home. It was crushed by 3 coconut trees. I am homeless now and live with my brother.
I'm left with nothing. I live somewhere else now. Coconut trees crashed into my home and broke the beam in half. It will need repair.
The money they have received now, they are going to buy the DaAi sheets for the roofing of their houses and to start a new life.
Besides cash, each envelope also contains a letter for the survivors, filled with blessings of all Tzu Chi members around the world.
This love has taken root inside our heart. You have been a great help. I am very grateful.
I cry as I read this letter because we have been selected by Tzu Chi. Volunteers are here to help us who endured hardships.
This distribution was organized and led by senior volunteer Yang Guanxin, who has carried out international relief missions for decades. He says the destruction he witnessed this time is unprecedented.
In all of my years working in disaster relief, I've never witnessed a disaster of such magnitude, so my heart truly aches for these people. Mr. Zheng Yan instructed us to come and alleviate the survivors' suffering.
Though scarred by one of the worst natural disasters, Tunga's residents find comfort in a group of foreigners from far away. With newfound courage, they bravely take the steps towards recovery.
Following up our last story on financial aid for families in need in Tunga, Philippines, an 80-year-old senior's family had received 7,000 pesos more than they were supposed to. Thus, they immediately returned the additional amount to Tzu Chi volunteers. Here in Tunga, Philippines, Typhoon Haiyan survivors line up to receive financial aid from Tzu Chi volunteers. Upon realizing she had received more money than she was supposed to, 80-year-old Virginia immediately returned the extra money to volunteers.
Thank you so much. Thank you for helping not only us, but to the community.
Tzu Chi volunteers then paid this honest family a visit and saw that their house was greatly damaged by the disaster.
This is my place.
They could have easily kept the extra money, but didn't.
It's not the money that we earned, so we can't keep it.
Thank you for Taiwan. Thank you. Tzu Chi Foundation. Thank you.
On this short visit to Virginia's family, Tzu Chi volunteers can feel the family's modest demeanor and wish for them to quickly return to normal. Tzu Chi's prefabricated shelters were created with disaster relief in mind, centering on ease of construction, transportation, and usage. To assist Typhoon Haiyan rebuilding efforts, the latest generation of temporary shelters has been delivered to the hard-hit areas of the Philippines. At Tunga Elementary School, a team of Taiwanese Tzu Chi volunteers will build a total of 9 classrooms, which 2 have already been completed, giving students a chance to resume learning.
We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a better day, so let's start giving.
In the Philippines, some students are still able to attend music class at Tunga Elementary School, as Typhoon Haiyan did not destroy that building. However, there are a few usable classrooms, as the wind and rain destroyed 28 out of the 36 classrooms at the school.
Naglilinis sa bahay.
Happy ba kayo na meron na makakaroon ng bagong classroom kayo?
Papa.
You must still have space here.
Yes, at the center, at the center.
The crew who helped construct classrooms with the 921 Project Hope in Taiwan have arrived at Tunga. The team has to first decide the placement of the classrooms.
With our past experience, we tested the ground and found the school field to be solid and large enough to hold 9 classrooms, so the center point will be the flagpole.
For Amelia Lawson, the principal of Tunga Elementary School, these classrooms have arrived just in time.
Because that building is only 18 classes. So we have 35 pupils per class. So Sir Jimmy told us that 1/10 could be occupied by 70 pupils. So 9 divided by 2, we will have 18 classrooms. 18 classes will occupy the 9/10.
Actually, the creation of Tzu Chi's prefabricated structures came about with disaster relief in mind. For disaster relief purposes, sturdiness, weight, ease of transportation, ventilation, and projected period of usage are the most important factors to consider.
Throughout our research and development, we kept in mind Mr. Zheng Yan's initial reminder to us, we are not only providing for survivors, it has to be suitable for ourselves as well.
Initially, this batch of prefabricated classrooms was designated for Zamboanga in the Philippines. Thus, Anton Lim, a local Tzu Chi volunteer, came to Taiwan to familiarize himself with the construction details. Volunteers put much thought into its packaging. The instruction tags are written in both Chinese and English. Details such as the number of screws are not overlooked. Seeing everyone's dedication, Anton Lim is deeply moved.
We want to make sure that when we open up the eye, we will not get hurt. I mean, there's just too much. There's just too much love that being put into each classroom. Thank everyone for their effort.
From research and design to a packet of screws, Tzu Chi's humanitarianism radiates in every corner of the prefabricated shelters. As part of their continued assistance to Typhoon Haiyan survivors, Tzu Chi volunteers prepared instant rice for Cash for Work participants so that they can have the strength to carry on their cleanup efforts. Following the devastation of Typhoon Haiyan in 2009, Tzu Chi volunteers in the Philippines implemented Cash for Work programs to help local residents get back on their feet. Today, years later, many of the former recipients have joined Tzu Chi's ranks in helping out those who were affected by the recent disaster.
Over the past 2 weeks, Evangeline, a Tzu Chi volunteer from Marikina, has been here in Tacloban to help disaster survivors with their recovery work. As a former typhoon survivor, she says it is her calling to help those in greater need.
I have seen how Master Zheng Yan shows her love to us Filipinos. Thank you, Master, for tending to all the residents and volunteers in the Philippines.
This is Evangeline's first time taking part in relief work as a Tzu Chi volunteer. Therefore, she cherishes this opportunity the most and does her best to help those in need.
As a Tzu Chi commissioner, I know that it is my responsibility to help Master Zheng Yan carry out Tzu Chi missions.
The disaster in Tacloban reminds Marikina volunteers of Typhoon Haiyan in 2009. Having personally experienced the trauma that the disaster survivors are feeling, this group of volunteers can better empathize with the typhoon survivors.
I told the Tacloban residents that giving is more blessed than receiving, so I encouraged them to save spare change on a daily basis to help the less fortunate. They said, don't forget to count them in when Tzu Chi holds a volunteer training event.
Since the beginning of Tzu Chi's relief work in Tacloban, over 30 Marikina volunteers have been stationed here in the coordination center. Despite their heavy workload, they did not complain but dedicated their utmost efforts to help the needy.
I feel like I'm helping my fellow people, so it is fine to get a little busy.
From aid recipients to givers, volunteers from Marikina now feel immeasurable happiness from helping those in greater need. Meanwhile, kitchen volunteers are busy preparing instant rice for Cash for Work participants. Over 100 boxes of instant rice are ready to be delivered to each Cash for Work site. Participants who do not have their own lunch boxes receive waterproof bags prepared by Tzu Chi. Upon receiving Tzu Chi's hot meals, the residents are all in smiles.
I'm very happy to have something to eat. Besides, the food you provided us is easy to take away. I will bring this bag of rice back home and share it with my family.
Sa bahay nila.
Rice is the staple food of the Filipinos. Therefore, Tzu Chi's instant rice has been well received by these Cash for Work participants.
Thank you very much for the hot meal. It's a great help.
It's very convenient. I don't have to prepare lunches myself. I'm very satisfied.
To make delivery of the meals go smoothly, Tzu Chi volunteers planned out beforehand the most convenient route for distribution.
I want to know what is the easiest and fastest route to deliver these meals.
Thanks to kitchen volunteers' hard work, residents of Tacloban City have been able to enjoy hot meals over the past few days, as well as the Tzu Chi volunteers' warmth and love.
In the Philippines, Tzu Chi's Cash for Work program in Tacloban City has brought much hope to Typhoon Haiyan survivors on the path to recovery. On December 4th, 2 of the work sites have completed their cleanup work. Grateful for Tzu Chi's assistance, some local residents were inspired to help out as volunteers, while others expressed their thankfulness through writing and song.
This is neither a rally nor a concert. Then who is this person that possesses such charm? This is Shi Yazhu. She's a Filipino-Chinese staff member of the Tzu Chi Religious Affairs Department in Taiwan. Through her warm and outgoing personality, she forged an excellent relationship with the local residents.
We are all the same, the master tells us, to have an undiscriminating heart. So I told myself I would treat everyone with equality and sincerity and share their spirit and ideals of Tzu Chi with them.
With a heart filled with gratitude, 16-year-old Mariel presented a letter of thanks to Tzu Chi. She wrote in her neat and tidy handwriting, "Tzu Chi taught us to walk forward." She even composed a song dedicated to Tzu Chi.
Nawa ang ating ihatid, tayo ay laging magsama-sama, ay alay natin, ay saya ang mundo.
Another person who is also reciprocating her love for Tzu Chi is Anna, a computer instructor who has collected funds from her co-workers to promote the philosophy of the Bamboo Coin Bank.
We can help, we will help, but now they want to help, but it's not at that big amount, but they really want to extend also help from their hearts, even if it is just a small amount, at least it can help for other people.
Thanks to the Cash for Work program, the streets of Tacloban are seeing drastic improvements each day. Tzu Chi volunteers also aim to continue implementing the program in more districts as to speed up recovery efforts in the affected areas.
Taos puso po kaming nagpapasalamat sa tulong at suporta na ibinigay ninyo sa mga Taclobanon. Kayo ang nagbigay ng lakas at pag-asa para makabangon ang Tacloban.
After 1 week of participating in the Cash for Work program, residents near the Sakahan National High School expressed their gratitude to the volunteers through this poster.
We can sense their happiness and we are moved by it. It means that our sincerity and loving care has found their way into their hearts.
Everything will be having better and you will be okay. Everybody will be good. Thank you very much.
We never know what we will come across at each destination, so we always have to be prepared. We are here to contribute a little of our strength for the disaster survivors in the Philippines.
3 days into the Cash for Work program at the Sacred Heart School, local residents have already forged a deep friendship with the volunteers.
Very good, very good. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Very good.
And the two words Tzu Chi has become a cheer for local residents, even for those who don't know how to speak Chinese.
It felt like the end of the world. We had no one to turn to, no food, and no job. Only when you arrived did we feel that there is still hope.
From your support, then we can go beyond the limitation and we can go really over and we can really make the miracle happen in the world.
The volunteers' efforts have brought about new beginnings to Tacloban as residents see hope for the future.
It has been over 3 weeks since Typhoon Haiyan ravaged the Philippines. Normally, in a natural disaster of this scale, clean water, food, and medical services are the top 3 priorities. We now take you to the disaster area to see how survivors are faring.
My husband and I were trapped by the water. We were on top of the roof. We held onto it and each other, but then my husband passed away. Still, I refused to let go.
When the typhoon struck, my children and I were trapped inside our house. We couldn't get out as the door was shut tight. I don't know how, but I believe God gave me the strength to open the door. My children and I helped each other out.
3 weeks after Typhoon Haiyan struck, survivors find solace through worship.
After I prayed, I felt calmer because I felt the Lord's compassion.
But is it really sunny after the rain? For the survivors, their ordeal has only just begun. Here, post-traumatic stress is something that no one mentions. Homes that were supposed to provide shelters have now been reduced to rubble. Add excessive heat and moisture to the debris, out comes a serious threat to the survivors' health.
As the debris decay, germs are produced. Perhaps mice will begin to breed there, which paves the way for more communicable diseases. The growing presence of mildew will be especially harmful to children's respiratory system. Skin diseases will also be common.
In the Philippines, more than 11 million people's lives are affected by the typhoon. They pack into shelters. However, overcrowding is potentially dangerous.
Important. As children are living in the evacuation centers, they're all crowded in one place. The water sanitation system is a problem. We really don't want any disease spread.
Typically, a disaster area won't see the outbreak of a new disease, but rather common infections such as dengue fever or malaria, both of which can be transmitted by mosquitoes.
Teaming up with the local Ministry of Health, the WHO has expedited a shipment of polio and measles vaccines for children aged 5 and younger. Another health concern is that patients with chronic illnesses have been without their medication for nearly a month now.
This water tastes wonderful, it's delicious and natural, so I gulped down half a bottle at once.
This mobile water purification system was designed in response to Taiwan's 8/8 flood. Now it is being put to work in the Philippines, providing Haiyan survivors with drinkable water that rivals bottled water.
All the bacteria are filtered out, and to be safe, we've added a UV light at the end which will kill all the bacteria. This way we can drink the water safely.
As the Philippines consists of thousands of islands, the rescue effort has been difficult. Disaster areas still need clean water, food, and makeshift outhouses. Even though nearly a month has passed, survivors still rely on outside assistance.
After returning home from Taiwan, Xiamen Tzu Chi care recipient Yang Xiaodong visited the Xiamen Zhongshan Hospital to continue his rehabilitation. Although he still has a long road to recovery, with the support from people from both sides of the strait, Yang is determined to walk without his cane one day.
Today, walking into the Xiamen Zhongshan Hospital with a smile on his face, Yang Xiaodong is starting his first rehab in this hospital.
Before, his back was crooked and his hip bone was not in the correct position. His whole body was squeezed together.
Here is Chen Jian, the director of the Xiamen Zhongshan Hospital's physiotherapy department, explaining Xiaodong's situation to a physiotherapist. In the future, this hospital's medical staff will be in charge of looking after Yang Xiaodong's health.
Please stretch as much as you can. Pull up with your own strength. Let's see how much you can bend your knee.
Other than noting Yang Xiaodong's current progress, a physiotherapist teaches Yang how to adjust his breathing rate to make sure he will be ready for his upcoming rehabilitation.
Let's do a breathing exercise, okay? Breathe in through your nose and breathe out from your mouth. Good, that's great. Do you feel the difference?
Thanks to the help of doctors and nurses from both sides of the street, Yang Xiaodong's condition has recovered rapidly.
Professor Chen will probably do another X-ray for Xiaodong at the hips. If you look closely at his X-ray image, you can tell that the hip bones on each side are not the same.
Dr. Liu Guanling of Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital, who was involved in Xiaodong's rehabilitation process in Taiwan, traveled to Xiamen to attend the handover meeting to make sure that doctors at the Xiamen Zhongshan Hospital have a full understanding of Xiaodong's condition.
It took a long time and effort for Xiaodong to arrive at this stage. We don't want his condition to deteriorate due to a lack of rehabilitation.
Dr. Liu also reminded the medical staff at the Xiamen Zhongshan Hospital of the details to attend to, as he hopes the rehabilitation afterwards can help Yang increase his joint elasticity.
We are not only curing Xiaodong's body but also his mind. We will help him rebuild his confidence and courage. We want to surpass the goal we have set up for him.
Knowing that rehabilitation is very painful, 8 Tzu Chi volunteers thoughtfully soothe Yang Xiaodong with words of encouragement. With the help and encouragement from physiotherapists, it is hoped that Xiaodong can maintain a positive attitude during rehabilitation.
We want to help him work on his upper and lower limbs. The purpose of using a sandbag is to help him improve his muscle strength. This movement over here will work on his spine. It will help him stretch more and build up strength in his back muscle.
Despite the long hours of rehabilitation each day, Yang Xiaodong is determined to overcome all obstacles along the way. Tzu Chi volunteers will continue to accompany Xiaodong and help him become independent as quickly as possible.
At the end of the show, we bring you images of Tzu Chi volunteers in the Philippines and Malaysia as they hit the street to canvass for donations from passers-by to help with Haiyan relief efforts. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.